Hi. Wednesday night. I'm bored, but I'm also pissed. I just was watching a video by Silverfish. He's a good guy. He always tries to calm everybody down and does a pretty good job at it. But uh, he's saying stay the course. Well, I agree with it. And then I wrote a couple of pages, I'm afraid, of commentary, and I don't blame anybody. I wouldn't read any commentary that ran out of words four times myself. But here's something I'm going to throw at you. This is crazy, and I don't believe it's the case, but it's for all you conspiracy buffs out there. Let's take a look at this. Now, the problem with the government and Wall Street in bed together is this: that anything that Bernanke wants to keep inflation at 2%. Well, that's insane because core inflation doesn't include uh, things like heat, things like gas, and it doesn't include food, food or energy. Now, anybody's been to the supermarket. I went to the supermarket today, and I saved 48 bucks. That's what the slip told me. But my bill was $147, and that's just for little snack stuff for me and my 93-year-old mother. And this is twice a week. This is ridiculous. I average about 200 bucks a week to feed two people. Now that is absolutely crazy. Prices at the supermarket, the boxes get smaller, the containers get smaller. Uh, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely out of this world. And to say that there is no inflation, that core inflation is below 2% is crazy. The other thing that they claim is that they've revised our gross domestic product and they think it went up 2.3%. Now, who got that 2.3%? I was watching a very interesting and informative YouTube video, and the gentleman laid out all the statistics and showed it where he got all of them, and showed that the upper 2% of this country a couple of years ago was worth 1.3 million. Now they're worth 2.4 million. And the 0.001%, they got the biggest gain of anybody. Now the rest of us per family, and they said there was 111 million families or something, uh, ended up with a net loss in the last couple of years of spending power of $6,000 per family. Now that $6,000, that is the difference between us coming out of the recession, and I don't mean the cooked up numbers of what people that shuffle paper do. I mean people that actually make something. I mean farms that actually produce something besides ethanol. I mean people that are out there breaking their back, holding down two jobs to feed three kids, and they're having a tough time of it. Now, this economy, there's no way out until the people that lost that $6,000 in buying power per year, until they get that back and then some. It's only the middle class can bring this out of this malaise. That no matter how much money Wall Street makes, it doesn't create a goddamn job. It's just a matter of shuffling around a bunch of electrons, and that's what they are best at. Now they tried to pass a law that said that you couldn't trade more than once every second, and and Congress knocked it down because Wall Street's so powerful. They trade in nanoseconds. It's crazy, and they trade for a hundredth of a cent difference, but they make millions and millions of trades a day. Now, aside from the crookedness, the just plain crookedness, here comes the conspiracy theory. Bear with me. The government is, along with J.P. Morgan and Bernanke and everybody, trying to force the price of silver and gold down as far as they can, and then state that, like Roosevelt did, that it's a national emergency. Everybody has to turn in their silver and gold at spot price. That's drive it down to where it's worth almost nothing, and then tell everybody they got to sell it for almost nothing, and then let the government hoard it. Now, that's not going to happen, and that's as crazy as it gets. But all things that aren't square circles and stuff like that are possible. Why in the world would the government want to screw the masses of people? Why? Because they're bought and sold every day by the very few at the very top. Now, another couple interesting things is that how in the world can silver keep getting crapped on? I mean, it is in a free fall avalanche, and none of the major numbers have changed. Not since in January when it was 31 bucks. And here's an interesting. Everybody's always doing math things, and I question some of them. But say say silver drops, I don't know, 25%. Now to get back to where it was, it has to go up 33%. Say silver drops 50%. Well, silver then would have to double itself to get back to where it was. So it's always harder on the way back than it was on the way down. So we have got to do the only thing that we can do, and that is hoard our silver. We have to take every ounce we have and just hang on to it and not let it go anywhere because they want it and they want it cheap and they want it all. Now, the other thing is, every day now there's new offers for new crazy things at unbelievable premiums. And so many of you have written me because they get upset because they're showing off some crazy thing where they paid 100% premium on or some ridiculous number. And I get on their case that the only way we can get in and join this battle is to buy as much silver and to hang on to it as we can. Not this, and somebody defined to me what shiny was. I had, excuse me, I had no idea that it actually was a term used as a reference in silver. I just picked it out of the blue and said there's shiny people and there's junk people, and I've become more or less a shiny one simply because that is. Let me see if I got one of these still laying around that Mark didn't take. That that this is shiny, but it's also was the cheapest stuff out there. Now it's getting to a point where it's difficult to find. Everybody's saying oh silver's falling off the ledge, but go try to find any. You can't do it. But don't fall for these new World Wildlife Fund and this crap and then the new the endangered species thing and the Canadian wildlife series. You know, if unless you can get these and the Canadian wildlife, you can usually get them for a very small premium when they first come out. But don't go for this really, MS-69s, MS-70s on pandas and stuff where there's millions and millions of these things out there. Buy silver, period. Silver. As much silver as you can get. Silver. Buy silver. That's where the action is, and the only way that we're going to have any minuscule effect on it is to buy it and hold it. And I don't mean buy something that's $59 and it's fancy and painted and comes in a beautiful little box. That's not where it's at. And you say it makes you happy. Well, your economics you ought to sit down and think about because your economy of your own household is not to be affected by what makes you happy. It's to be affected by what's best for you in the long run. And what's best for you is also going to be best for everybody, every other hoarder out there. And that is buy as much as you can, as cheap as you can, if you can find it. Now don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to pass on some of these. If the premium's too high, I don't care how happy it makes you. If go watch some porn and whack off or something. Relieve yourself. Go jump in bed with the wife or your boyfriend or whatever it is, and and get happy in other ways. Go watch a movie, but don't please. It's ridiculous at this day and age to in the disaster situation with the avalanche we've seen in silver to spend enormous premiums for stuff it's only skin deep. It's only silver.